told you guys I would absolutely be back to read the charts with you with nothing on it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you're having a hard time with trading, this is meant to help you do just that. All right, so please pay attention as we look at the market for not too long. I'm gonna dial the time frame down too. All right, I'm trying to do both. All right, so yeah, take a look at everything here. All right, please familiarize yourself with this information. I'm not going to explain it all to you, and I got indications for you if you would like to see some of that information as well. Tons of information: supply and demand zones, order flow, support and resistance, you name it. I even got an oscillator for you. Picture that. All right, so just want to go ahead and tell you that if you want that as well. All right, so we're up. That's pretty much what we're doing here. I'm gonna dive through a couple different time frames, but let me do this. Let me just kind of put a horizontal line at the midpoint of this 1 minute, and then we're going to change gears. All right, so let me lock that, and then we're going to get one here at the upper part of the scale. You're trying to divide your bezel. All right, that's most important. Divide your bezel because that's important. Trust me, when they go to turn around, it's going to become relative. That's all. All right, so I'm going to do this really quickly. All right, then we're going to get a lower half just in case they manage to come down here and want to go down. Just in case, I'm going to move that midline up just a little bit. That's a little too low. First thing you want to do when you pull up a chart is do this. It'll help, trust me. Yeah, it'll help. All right, so let's move this up just a hair. Roughly, that's a little too high. Roughly, right, I'm going estimation here. All right, so that's that time frame, right? So now let's go to a 15-second. We're going to try to read this a little bit. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. We're going to put one here as well. Matter of fact, yeah, let's do a zone. Let's do a zone at the middle of the chart on this one. That's roughly about here. 9:30 will be here in just a moment. All right, it'll be here in just a moment. All right, so they're up. All right, that makes sense. Now let's get us one more zone up here. Matter of fact, let's do a red one just in case they want to kind of move down a little bit. Let's just do a red one here. You already know that there's a trend. Well, never mind. They don't want to do that. That's fine. I thought that just maybe they'll want to come down just a little bit. So let's move this up. All right, so let's unlock this, kind of move this up just a bit. That would be here. All right, so they managed to do that. Let's just put that there. All right, so now well, you know that could have changed by now. That's the most important part of doing this. You want to make sure that that's not changing on you. I do have a template for it. So let's just kind of move this around just a little bit. We're going to do both. Don't worry. We're going to do both. They're going to come down to roughly about the center of the chart. All right, so the center of the chart roughly about there. We're going to move this up just a hair. That'll be here. The 1 minute is not as fast as that 15-second. I can change this without them getting too far gone. All right, so there's a bounce, all right, at the center of the chart. That's really important, all right. Will they go back up there? We got to see. We're going to see. We're going to see if they're going to be able to do that. Let's go back to our 15-second. There's a small bounce there. Now, what did that look like? We got to count our bars. That's the next thing you're going to want to do. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, this is 5, and they just need 2 more to make it official that they may want to move it down just a little. All right, so now we got 6 because they are not stopping. They're not stopping. All right, so now they're beneath the lower half of the chart. Lower half of the chart. So you kind of get it right. So middle of the chart. I'm gonna have to do it this way. I forgot I got my lines because I'm so used to being on that black background on that other channel there. Let me just try to make that black. This is your bezel. All right, so if you want to know what your bezel is, it's this: the center of your chart to the lower part of your chart and to the upper part of the chart. That's your bezel. So you're reading that hard right edge in that capacity there. All right, just make it simple for you. It's not complicated. It's not a lot of moving parts, no matter what no one says. All right, so we had already drew that out. Now clearly they're in a trend, just about. They haven't made it yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. They need 7. All right, so now let's do this. I'm gonna have to change this because this is crazy. All right, so let's do this. Uh, yeah, we'll just do it. We'll do it like that for now. No, we need red. We need red just in case they want to go down. Just now they got 7 or approaching that. Let me see. Did they close lower? Did they close lower? Did they close lower? All right. Remember I told you guys about this one too. All right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you about this. Let's see what this close is. 158.50. That's even. So that's not, it's not down yet. All right. So we don't have a trend yet. Now, should they close lower, then yeah, we'll have a trend. So they can turn around, come back up if they want to. Shake everybody out. That's all. Let's see what that 1 minute, what that looks like on that scale. Yeah, you don't really want them beneath there. So if they have any intent on going back up, then they need to hop to it right now. All right. But if they're going to fall, the center of our scale, not too bad. But let's just bring this down just a hair, not too much. The lower half of our scale would be here. Well, I don't want to move that one. That's for the other our other chart there. Okay, so yeah, so lower half roughly about here. All right, I can't do it for both time frames because then I'm end up overshooting this information here. All right, so now they haven't closed lower just yet, but this is not it. All right, so this is not it. So we're gonna give an estimation here. I do believe they're gonna try to set a trend. All right, so here we go. Estimation. That's an estimation here. We're not gonna lock because we're actually gonna use that projection. Now it's insisting that it would go this way that far. But here's what I think. They'll probably come back up here and then get here. All right, and that's down at 29.64 and a quarter. So now what you will want to do, here's what you're looking for. I know it's been running, but here's what you're looking for. You're trying to get a, I need to change this for this video because I can't keep coming in here having to do this. It's taken away from what I'm trying to accomplish here. Let's uh let's load that. All right, now let's save it as a default. Let's save it so that way I don't have to keep coming back to that. All right, so now let's do this. We're looking for a body, and then being that they're going down, we need this body's midpoint to exceed that candle's low. All right, so we want it to exceed that candle's low. If we're going up, we want the midpoint to exceed the prior candle's high. All right. I didn't want to have to come and get that because I knew it would do that. I didn't want to have to come and get it. Okay, I kind of shot myself in the foot right there. All right, so let's get black, and we're going to just save it as default so I can continue on. All right, so now let's do this. Do forgive me having to do this while we're up here. I know it's kind of taken away from what we got. Clearly, we're not doing this scenario that I'm showing you. We're not doing that. All right, so we're not doing that yet. All right. All right, so I did tell you that they'll come back up. I told you that. All right, so now the threshold portion of it. Typically, it's right outside the midpoint. So it's right outside the midpoint is what you're dealing with. Now, if they're going to remain beneath the center of the chart, I expect a response right here. All right, just right in here if they're going to turn around and want to come back down. Do they have to? No, they can turn around and go back up. Let's go back to our 1 minute. That's not bad. So they can turn around and go back up should they want to. I just want to go ahead and tell you that. But let's go back here. All right, I'm trying to do a little bit of that fractal stuff for you as well. They didn't respond at all. They said, no, we're not going to do that. But I did tell you they'll come back at least this far. That kind of makes sense, right? So now the midpoint, so the midpoint is exceeding. Now here's what you're looking for. This right here is what they're suggesting that they're willing to do. All right, because if they won't go down, they're going here. All right, now I'm gonna stay up here just until they are able to get there. Now I'm gonna tell you a couple other fun facts, all right, about what they're capable of doing. I'm gonna tell you some other stuff. All right, make this simple and short, so you don't have to be up here with me for a very long time. If they're going to go down, they're going to need to hop to it, which I don't really think that that's it. All right, so we're going to do our threshold on this side of it. That's not too bad. It's just slightly beneath the center of the chart. So if they want to come down just a bit more, kind of shake everybody out of it really quickly, they can do that. Let me remove this. All right, so if they wanted to come down, they can come and shake everybody out of it and then get right back to it. But let's see what they have planned. Let's see. It can't be both. They made a trend down, so it can actually hold this trend. It can. And again, I think that if they here's your response. Let's see if they can get back up. If they are opposed to go down, we can do this now. All right, so let's take and move this. If they're going to hold that trend, that's saying that they're going to go right outside this low. If they have, yeah, they broke that bar. That shouldn't happen. They break this bar. That shouldn't happen. Now, do we have a trend from this direction? One, two, three, four, five, six. That's seven. All right. So you have two trends here. That sucks. One, two, three, four, five, six. This is seven. I'm sorry. This is seven. Okay. So that's seven. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. They overshot that. I don't like that they did that. I don't like that they did that. You got two trends. It can't be both. Now, here's what's taking place. Typically, you'll have a center of your trend. So your center of your trend, give or take, give or take. We're going to give or take here. I'm going to go right about here. Center of your trend with all of this is right about here. And I'm going to color these lines so we don't get them confused with that blue one from the 1 minute. All right, so it's normally this way. All right, so it's normally this way. They're turning the corner pretty fast on this 15-second chart, but I definitely want to give you this information so you'll know what to look for. All right, so now center of your trend. Let me make sure I mark the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this was 7. All right, let's mark it from the other side. 1, 2, 3. They need to close higher or lower. 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. All right, and that's what we're getting our information from. So they're trapped between two. All right, they're trapped between two. That's the first pattern that you're seeking. The next one you're going to want to find is this one. Can this body fit inside here at least twice? All right, it may not be this. All right, I want to tell you that. The other thing that you're going to want to find is this big wick. You have it here. Big wick, small wick. If they can grow in size, you got to get the small wick, big wick scenario. Small wick, big wick scenario. So those are the three things that represents majority on your chart. They got big wig, but they're heading back through it. All right, let's see if they can stop that. But big wig, smaller wig, that's kind of this. So if they want, they can come back down here unless they're going to turn the scenario. Unless they're going to turn the scenario, they need not break this wick if they are. All right, but you got a bigger wick. That's a smaller wick. All right, now you got kind of all of it right now. Well, no, you didn't get the mid, but you got the big wick, smaller wick. This body can fit in there twice. They need not break this scenario here. They shouldn't. But I suspect based on this response, just this response, they may go back up there. They may, and if so, they'll get here. They'll get here. They got almost there. Almost. That's pretty good. All right. So this is no longer relative. All right. So they kind of fell through that. All right. Well, see, yeah. So now, what do you do? What do you do? Because I'm giving you the distance based on the trend. The thing I want to tell you about, if you find those showing up on the chart, you would do the same thing because the market is like you and I. Whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. So you know how far you want to go. You do. And so they're doing it again to the downside. They're expanding here. So what you would do, you would do that. Okay. Now I like the threshold on the bar that it expanded from. Right. So if they want to reach up, I'm not really worrying about this bar. I'm worrying about this one here. And so some would say that's a little too far. If it's not according to your risk tolerance, scale the time frame to what it is that you would like to trade. All right. So it's here that I'm concerned about for them to be able to push like that. Kind of look for difference, right? Because when you look at the chart and they're doing this, and most of the time, whenever they do that, they'll stall you out for at least 4 bars. All right, for at least 4 bars, they'll do this. They'll put the bodies inside of here, and they'll stall you out. So you got 1, 2, 3. This possibly could be 4 if they don't want to go ahead and break that wick. So that'll be 4, and that's why you have to look for the expanding aspect of it. All right, and that's all this is. All right, you don't need a third bar with some gap in between. You don't need all of that. That's not required. It's not professional trading, in my opinion, because the market, it has ran away from you by then. So you would want to get it when it's optimal. So there's your 4. There's a way of trading this. I'm just not going to go over it, but that's what will typically happen if you cannot get this to show up. So it's a behavior to it. That's all. And so if you want to know if you're in consolidation, typically if the midpoint here, if it falls into that candle, effectively you're potentially 1 bar away from it becoming just even worse. All right, just know it as to be such. So them stopping isn't so much an issue, but they need to go ahead and go. All right, because you want to go from the small bar back to the big bar, right? That's what we just talked about right here. All right, so you don't want them to constantly just spend time. That'll create a bigger issue. That's all, a bigger problem for you. All right, so clearly they're going to blow back through this low. So that's putting them here, and you got an agreement between two. All right, so you got it from here because they don't want to break that trend. You got this going on here, and that's agreeing with that distance as well. So all of this overlapping, wanting to play with you, that's just those mids. Okay, we just said this. those midpoints are falling into the prior bar. You're being chopped. So you don't have to wait until the market produce several different swings kind of overshooting each other to know you're in consolidation. That's not professional trading. You're sitting there watching them trade against you or essentially wanting to take counter trades, and the market has not yet proven to you exactly what it wants to do. You should already know what it's going to do before this happens. All right, what it wants to do is proven to you when this shows up. So when that midpoint falls in there, they're wanting to do this. So you don't have to have a long extended period of time to know that this could end up being your scenario. You don't have to worry about that. All right, you can kind of know and get in front of it and say, hey, I know that we're potentially getting ready to head into that type of cycle. All right, let's see if they'll respond here and go and hit that target. Remember what I told you about this stuff? We just talked about that. So that's not where you want to be. All right. Just want to go ahead and express that to you. Please be here. Like, this makes sense. All right. Let's see if they can get down there. Let's just see. Could they hold this turn? Yes, they could. I don't think that this is going to work. I don't. So I expect them to actually get here. And so that's down here. Let's put our little line here as we did from above. Let's just do this, and hopefully they can get to this one. I'm going to make it red. Let's make it red or light coral. Let's make it light coral so it doesn't conflict with that. And then we're going to scale up to the 1 minute, and then I must go. Hopefully they can hurry up and get down there. I don't want to hold the video much longer, trying to give you just roughly about 15 minutes worth of information. And clearly if they get here, they're going through here, right? You know, that kind of makes sense. All right. Center of the chart. Center of the chart. Do you see this? I just put the lines there, and they're just pay attention. Just pay attention. It's simple. It's not complicated. I'm gonna make sure you can read the chart with nothing on it. And should you want some indications, just come over to Day Trader Today's channel, and you can pick up some tools just to kind of help further the information, make it a little easier for you. I do have indicators that'll draw the trend. It'll draw the bar pattern that we're looking for. It'll draw this stuff. All right, so I got that as well. So you don't have to like interact with the chart as I'm having to kind of draw all of this stuff out. You don't have to do that. I got tools that'll do it for you. So you can kind of sit back, pay attention, and manage your account. So you have to just manage how much you would want to put on any given trade. And that's important. So you don't want to put yourself too far out the window. All right. So that's my time with you. They broke that low. I'm not going to hold the video much longer. Just look for them to, of course, get here. I'm pretty certain that they'll do it. Let me give it just 1 more minute. Let's see if they go climb back up this candle. I must go. All right, because remember, there's your look what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. We just talked about this. Look. You see? That's one. You got two. How many more? Three. So now we're on three. Come on now. This is not difficult. Please, people, don't make this stuff difficult. Come on. I believe this candle may do the same unless it's going to take right. Oh, okay. All right. So that's my time with you. I wish you all the best with your trading. Be so kind if you don't mind. Hit the like button and visit me over on daytradertoday.com. I'm sorry, Daytrader Today on YouTube. I'm so used to having my company online. But yeah, come visit me over there. All right. Wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.